the big picture, respect, safety, anticipation. So my system that I teach, ACT leadership, awareness, control, thrust. Awareness is about the woman, understanding female psychology, understanding women, understanding the individual woman in front of you. That's awareness. Thrust, the T, is about you being the best man you can be. In other words, a leader, first of yourself, then of others. Yeah. In the middle is the process of leadership, the process of learning about the woman. They're really the same thing. So understanding the woman, understanding yourself and developing yourself, and then the actual process, like what actually happens, the action. That's control. And it's a funny word to use, but I use it for a reason. That's how women feel about the sexual process when they first meet a guy. Respect is, I think there's a confusion between status and value. A lot of methods and theories out there based on this sort of value game of, trying to be cooler than the woman. We're trying to make the woman think you're cooler than you actually believe you are, or at least make her think that you're cooler than she is. And by cool, I mean like status. Okay, status can play a role if it's maybe like a nightlife situation. You're a promoter, you're a manager, you seem to know a lot of people. That's definitely attractive to women. Women will, respond to that. But it doesn't really matter that much unless there's like a big status differential. So one example is I was in a club one night in Chicago many years back, and Derrick Rose, who's like a huge NBA star now, one of the best in the game, he was a rookie that year with the Chicago Bulls. And so I'm talking to this really cute girl, and everything's going well. And then Derrick Rose walks in, and she just runs away from me and makes a beeline to Derrick Rose. And I'm like, what just happened? And my buddy's like, oh, that's Derrick Rose. And I wasn't following NBA at the time, so I didn't really know who that was. He's not very tall. He just looked like an average guy. He wasn't dressed flashy. He was just kind of standing there having a beer, or whatever he was drinking. And so I'm like, who the fuck is Derrick Rose? So I go back over and I try to re-engage the girl, and she doesn't even see me. And she's just like trying to talk to him and get his attention. So that's an obvious example of how status can make a difference and get a girl, right? Derrick Rose won, right? So the reason why I point that out is that's sort of an example that, that's an extreme situation. That's the only time that's ever happened to me, is when an NBA All-Star walked into the room, and that particular girl was into that. The thing about it was I met several other girls that night who weren't flocking around Derrick Rose. So I met other women they didn't really care. So that's an example of status actually making a difference. But again, that's the only time that's ever happened to me where a girl just left because some guy was famous. And so that is not, that's kind of how much status you need for that to actually make a difference. Usually it doesn't matter. What's really going on with the woman is she's just feeling the chemistry. She's just feeling, how you guys get along. Do you seem like you might be good in bed? Are you fun to talk to? Does your mutual energies, your respective energies, kind of have a nice mix to them? And so that's really what women are thinking about. A big part of this is that women, they have pretty much equal access to resources, at least in the Western world. So they don't really need to chase a guy for money or status anymore. And so then what matters? What matters with a guy? It's the connection. In order to put someone in a leadership position where we're giving them control, again, that's how it feels to the woman. To give someone control, we need to respect them. So respect has all sorts of, kind of implications. So what does that mean? How do you garner respect? Well, honesty, integrity, that's someone who says what they mean. That's probably the shortest route to garnering respect. Women already have a degree of respect for men. It's already there to some degree. you can magnify it, you can increase it. But, you know, if you approach a woman, if you're proactive and you go up to her and you're not trying to use an excuse or use a corny line, unless you're doing it in a way that's like funny and fun, just because you're entertaining yourself, as long as you do that, she'll respect you. She'll see you as, oh wow, this is one of the few guys in this venue tonight that actually walked up to me and talked to me like a human being without being afraid or without trying to use an excuse or trying to buy me a drink and buy my time. So just approaching can trigger respect.